Thank you so much for being here. Today, we're going to be discussing how to revive your marriage after your husband's affair. If you are excited for this, like I am, say hello. Say hello in the comments. Give me some hearts. If you have any questions as we go through, please feel free to write them in the comments, and I'm going to be answering them at the end or as I go if they're relevant. But I like for this to be an interactive experience, so definitely make sure that you are um, writing with me in the comments so that we can have a conversation. Okay, so a little about me. I know that there are a lot of new women in the group, and you might not know who I am. My name is Gianni Sanders, and I help women who have experienced infidelity heal their hearts and save their marriages by cultivating deep self worth. My husband had an affair 7 years ago, and he also fathered his first child from the affair. Obviously, it was extremely painful, and I thought that my dreams were ruined forever. I thought that my life was over and that I would never be able to have the marriage that I wanted because our plans had been flushed down the toilet and I didn't have a plan B. I never planned for our marriage to fail. I never planned to be a stepmother. And I didn't know that there was another way. Through a lot of introspection and conversation, we decided that we would stay in our relationship, but I didn't know what life was going to look like. Um, and it didn't go well. It didn't go well for a really long time. And so um, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I lost a ton of weight. I truly resented him for what had happened to us and what had happened to me. And I didn't think that um, there was a way out. We've had three separations, lots of ups and downs. But through it all, I made a powerful decision. And what I hadn't realized at the time, even though I thought that I was um, committed to my marriage, was that I wasn't all in. And so I decided to be all in. And I decided that I get to decide what my life story is going to be and that no one would tell me otherwise. And so today I'm happily and peacefully married, and I have a partner that I respect, I can trust, and that I can rely on, which is so important. We communicate easily without drama, and I'm able to sleep peacefully without a care in the world. And I know that that doesn't look the same for you out there, possibly. And so through this presentation, I'm inviting you to upgrade what you believe is possible for your life. Upgrade what you believe is possible for your marriage. So, today we're going to talk about common mistakes that women make in their healing journey once they experience infidelity. And I'm going to answer any questions you have about the content or anything else in your life relating to infidelity. And I'm also going to make you an offer to go deep with me if you want to learn more about this valuable information. So I don't know where this quote came from, but it's one that really speaks to me and I know hits home for a lot of women. And it's you aren't responsible for the trauma you've been through, but it's your responsibility to heal. A lot of times someone does something for us or our husbands have an affair and then we want them to fix us, right? You broke me, you fix me. But really, it doesn't work that way. Um, they didn't break you. We were just broken. And it's our responsibility to heal because we're adults and our hearts are our own. And if we don't hold ourselves dear and cherished, who will? So I definitely love to begin there. So, who is this presentation for? So this is for you if you're married to a great guy, but he had an affair, and you want to stay in your marriage, but you're spinning your wheels in the mud. You don't know what to do. You feel like you're taking two steps forward and three steps back. You're frustrated because you feel like you should be further along in your process, but you're not, and you don't understand why you're still stuck after reading all the books, all the blogs, all the podcasts, all the things. You're highly triggered all the time. You're out of trust and you're tired of trying, exhausted, without options, and you don't know what to do. However, you are very willing to do whatever it takes to save your marriage. This is not for you if you believe that you have all the answers, if you believe um, that other people shouldn't try to help other women. I know that there are some women in the infidelity community who feel like you shouldn't tell someone how to heal. Everyone knows how to heal and just leave them alone at their own pace and they should go. If you believe that that's true, I totally respect that, but this isn't going to be for you because I'm going to give you tips on how to heal. um, and so, if you're not coachable, if you're not willing to take feedback, adjust your process, and grow, then this isn't going to be for you. Um, Also, if you rather just blame your husband and blame the other woman and not look in the mirror at all for anything in terms of what has happened in your life, then this isn't going to be for you either. So now that we're on the same page about who gets results from this and who doesn't, let's dive in. And I'm going to be talking about mistakes that most women make when they're healing from infidelity, thinking that this is going to save their marriage. And as I go through this, you may identify with one or more of these. However, we're not here to judge anyone or put you down or shame yourself or beat yourself up. It's not that. This is only for awareness sake, and it's only for the purpose of enlightening yourself and knowing that there's a different possibility for you and that you can get to your next level. All right, so let's dive in. I'm so excited. Okay, so the first mistake that I made and many women make when they are um, healing from infidelity is that they focus all their pain and all their attention on their husbands and on pleasing him to no end. So, this is something that I've come up with in my methodology of how I help women heal from infidelity is that anytime you give to someone else because you want something in return, you're actually taking, you're not giving. So, um, when our husbands are unfaithful, we feel like we need to give him and just like mother him and like smother him with all the love that we can muster so that we can look worthy in his eyes, so that he can see us as someone who he wants to spend time with. Um, but you're not really giving to him when you're doing that. What you're doing is you're taking away from him because you want his attention, you want something in return. You're not just giving of yourself because you love him, you want to spend time with him, and you want him to be okay. Of course, that's part of it. But in reality, you want his love and devotion in return. You want his fidelity in return. You want his honesty in return. And so it's not giving. So let's dive deeper. So what does this look like? So I went a little bit into this. It's auditioning for his love, right? So you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're pleasing him in bed, doing whatever you think will prove to him that you're the one for him. And I don't know if you've ever been on the receiving end of someone who is auditioning and trying to prove themselves to you, especially someone you already love. It's actually quite um, unattractive. It pushes men away because imagine if your son or your daughter was trying to prove to you that you should love them. Like you already love them. They're already perfect. If only they could see themselves through your eyes. You think the world of them and they can do no wrong. So that is a big mistake that women make. Another thing we do is that we make things easy for him by not allowing him to meet our needs, by not allowing him to provide, by not asking for anything in return. We don't require anything in return. As long as he's there, we're gonna be content. We're gonna um, just let make him happy and make sure he doesn't have to lift a finger, just so that he can be there, not leave us because we're so afraid, we're so lonely, and we're so hurt. Another thing we do is that we change ourselves to what we think he wants from us. So we dress how he would want us to wear. We eat what he would want us to eat. I mean, this comes up so subtly in so many kind of ways. And it's not that there's anything wrong necessarily with pleasing him, right? It's about pleasing him from the space of wanting something in return from him, as opposed to just giving because you're so in love and you're so happy. So we don't require anything from him. We don't ask for help. We take it on all ourselves, and then we become resentful later when he's not meeting our needs, right? But we never even asked. We don't require it. Another thing that we do is that we don't set proper boundaries. We don't set consequences for his actions because we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to make things easy on him. We want to make sure that it's smooth sailing from here so that he never cheats on us again. We're gonna be as quiet as a mouse so that he's happy and that we don't even have to exist necessarily. The last thing is thinking that you're lucky to have him. So your husband comes home and maybe you were separated, maybe you never even kicked him out, and you feel so happy that he's back, so lucky to have him because you're so insignificant, because you believe you don't mean anything, and you're just glad that he's there and that he finally picked you, that he finally came around, that he finally saw your value. So if you're doing any and all of these things, I want you to know that I've been there, that I love you, that it's normal, it's natural, but these are not the things you want to focus on when you want to save your marriage, when you want to build something. And so if that's you, be gentle on yourself, be graceful, and we will be getting on what we do instead. So let's keep going. So, the next thing we do when we're busy pleasing Him, we're also busy focusing on improving ourselves in every way. And what we forget is is three key things that I'm going to get into. So, who said that anything was wrong with you? And I want that to sink in because when our husbands are unfaithful, we think that, okay, that obviously means something's wrong with me. And that's the problem with the whole thing. It's this deep seated belief that you're not enough exactly as you are. And so these are three mindset shifts that are going to change everything for you if you take them on. The belief that you are everything that is desirable already. You don't have to change, you don't have to improve. There's nowhere else to go. You are worthy of love and you are worthy of commitment right here, right now, with all your flaws, exactly the way you are. You are already perfect. When you were born, there was nothing wrong with you. All the perceptions you have about what's wrong with you are things that you've picked up along the way, or things that you've picked up through the years. But in reality, when you were born, you were loved exactly the way you are, and we've lost that along the way. We've forgotten who we are, that we are loved. So here is what we should be doing instead. We shouldn't be focusing on pleasing him, and we shouldn't be focused on improving ourselves. We should be focused on loving ourselves. So here's how. You want to feel and honor your feelings deeply so that you can then learn when and how to share. You want to do proper self care, and that is um, your hygiene and taking care of yourself and doing things that you enjoy. The next thing you want to do is create a life you love so that you don't have time for his. because oftentimes what we do is that we micromanage his life. What is he doing? Where is he going? Who's he talking to? Who is he hanging out with? Um, what is he eating? What's he not eating? All those things that you completely neglect you, and no one's worried about you or where you go and what you do, but you're so consumed with his life. And so what you need to do is create a life that you love, full of friends, full of family, full of a support system, that you don't have time to micromanage his, because he doesn't want a mom. He doesn't want a manager, right? He wants a partner, someone who has their own thing going on, someone who has a life that they love, and things that they're building in their own life, so that you have something to share and something to contribute, and it's not always about his life all the time. So when you're busy with what you like and what you're doing, you don't actually have the time or the energy, nor do you want to be spying on him, going through his phone, stalking him and the other woman on social media, and all those things that we do when we're feeling insecure and insignificant. The next thing is that you want to create a support system, not a crutch. So for me, when I was going through my healing journey, I thought I had a support system, because every time that I was feeling down, every time that I was depressed, I would call my pastor and she would pray for me and she would talk to me. However, I didn't know how to get myself out of the hole, right? So that wasn't a support system, it was a crutch. It was someone who would rescue me, but I didn't know how to be powerful enough to heal myself when those hard moments came. And so that is an invaluable part of the process to healing, because in reality, um, it's up to you to heal. It's up to you. No one else knows exactly what you need and how you need it. It's going deep within your own psyche that you'll get the treasures, that you'll get the breakthroughs in order to move forward through this process. So the great paradox about healing and healing your life and healing yourself is is two things. So first, we already spoke about accepting yourself as you already are. And I know that for a lot of you, the question that comes to mind is, well, obviously who I am and what I was doing wasn't working. So why wouldn't I want to change? And in reality, you do want to change, but not because there's anything wrong with you. You want to get to a place where you're choosing to change because you can, because you get to be anything you want, because you get to decide how you show up in the world, because it's fun, because it's exciting. So there's nothing wrong with who I am now, but I know that if I want to get to my next level, that version of me is completely different, right? It's not that this one's wrong and that one's better. It's just that one's different and I want that. And I get to create whatever I want and I get to have whatever I want. And so I'm choosing to embody the habits and the thoughts and the movements, the mannerisms of the future version of me instead of the past one, so that I'm actually moving forward in my life. Because if you continue to do the same things you've always done, then you're going to get the same result, right? If you don't change anything in the way you approach the world and the way you live your life, then you're going to be stuck. This is why we see people whose lives are completely the same year after year after year, because they don't change anything, right? So if you want something new, if you want something fresh, if you want a revitalized marriage, you have to be the one to refresh yourself and choose to be any way that you wish. I'm going to invite you into my Affair Breakthrough program. And this is 90 days to save your marriage from the grips of his affair. And this title makes speaks to me so deeply, because I remember feeling stuck for so long, not knowing why anything that I was doing wasn't working, why I was still stuck, why I couldn't break free. And so I want you to know that I totally get it, and that a life beyond what you can imagine right now is available to you. So these are the possibilities: that you feel completely confident that your marriage is stable and impenetrable from the outside. How isn't that amazing? Completely impenetrable, just you and him in your couple bubble as it should be. Feel confident in your deep knowing that you are everything your husband needs and wants already. Trust your husband from a deep place of safety and intuition. know exactly which boundaries to set and when, and how to set them without rocking the boat, how to set them without pushing him away. Heal all your triggers and become emotionally stable and completely affair proof your marriage. Doesn't that feel so good? So the reason this is so important is because if you continue to focus on the wrong things, you will continue to go down the wrong path until it's too late. You will end up either divorced or miserable with your love your entire life. And that's no way to live. I know that I totally focused on all those mistakes that we just went through. And I continued to go down the wrong path for a long time until my marriage got to the very, very brink of divorce. Because there's a lot at stake. I know that you're tired of not being able to trust him, not wanting to check his phone and track his every move, to put a chip in him, to put a GPS on his car, and all the things that I know that you've thought of doing. I know you're tired of not being able to sleep through the night because you have anxiety and you have nightmares and you have haunting images of everything he might have done with the other woman while he snores and sleep like a log. I know you're tired of obsessing about the other woman, worrying about your every move to make sure that you measure up. The emotional roller coasters that the triggers can take on you and the relationship, feeling like one day he's close and then the next day he's pulling away because of some outburst that you had. And most importantly, not feeling like yourself, feeling deeply ashamed of the shell that you've become when you're spying on him and going crazy and none of the things that we like, right? So this is what you get to cover with me if you join my Affair Break program. So it's how to mend your heart for good so that you're whole and complete, so that you release anxiety and feel safe and nourished by life and in your body. How to set and hold boundaries without pushing him away. How to truly forgive and release the resentment so you can love and respect him again, because I know that we all yearn to be good wives, but we also yearn to see our husbands as the good men we know they are. We yearn to see the potential in them and to actually be able to speak words of affirmations over his life that you mean. You'll learn how to heal and eliminate your triggers. You'll also learn how to get over the other woman and become the only choice in your mind and in his in order to eliminate all competition forever. Now, I know that feels good. Send me some hearts if you agree that this is important. I will help you get back on track with your dreams that you've had for your family and for your marriage so you can spare yourself the pain of divorce. Imagine how you're going to feel when you don't fear going through an affair again because you know that you are enough for him with every cell of your body. Become so magnetic to your husband that he only has eyes for you. So today's investment is $9.97, and what this includes is 9 video coaching calls in a group setting. So it's going to be a group of women who are all going through this journey healing together. I'm setting up a private Facebook group just for us, and I'm also giving you access to my 3 existing programs that I've already done with other women where you'll be able to release all the pain of infidelity. I'm going to assign this as pre work, just even to even begin starting this. You're going to get an emotional detox from your childhood, as well as have access to me on Messenger. So if you have the need for a payment plan, you can send me a message on Facebook and I will send that to you so you can sign up that way. But I'm going to put the link in the description box below if you're ready to get started right away. Um, and we're going to be starting May 6th, and it's going to be a weekly call, and the price is going to be increasing to $14.97 at that time. So, what's the cost of walking away, right? The average divorce is $14,000 in the United States. And this isn't even without the emotional toll and the years that it's going to take you to get back on track, to really get your marriage the way you want. You can also go back to reading books and trying to piece everything together on your own. as opposed to having a step-by-step system that's been tested and implemented with clients from that I've had in the past. So if you work with me, just know that I've been there, that I've done it, that I know what it takes, that I understand what you're going through, that you aren't alone, and that I won't give up on you. So, what are common questions that women often have is, will this work for me? And one thing that I can say to answer that is that only you can determine if this is going to work for you. I am committed to giving you all the resources and all the tools you need to see results. I guarantee that if you implement everything that I present to you, you will get results. I will do everything so that it works for you. I will show up for you. I know and I trust in my step by step system that you won't find anywhere else in order to get these results because this is what I did to heal and what I've done with my clients over the last year. The next question people have is, can I afford this? And oftentimes what I find is that you can't afford not to because the investments that you make on yourself are priceless because they're going to pay over in every area of your life. Imagine how you're going to show up at work when you're confident, when you can focus again, when you're not running to the bathroom to cry and you can actually get your work done. You're going to be a completely new woman, which means that in every aspect of your life you're going to show up as radiant and happy and nourished because let's be honest, as women, our marriages mean so much to us that it shows in every area of our lives. We can't show up with our kids the way we want to. We can't show up with our friends the way we want to, or we're just a Debbie Downer everywhere we go. Another question women have is, do I have the time for this? And I don't think that we'll ever have as much time as we have now. We're all home, we're all together as a family, and we have more time than ever. This is a time that God has given us in order to really slow down and focus on what's important. And there can't be anything that's more important than your personal growth. Because the sooner that you invest in yourself, the sooner you get to feel better and have the results that you really want in your life. If you have any questions about the investment or what we go through in the program, feel free to give me a shout out on Messenger and I will answer it there. So I want to thank you so much for joining me for this presentation. If you have any questions about the content or about anything at all, feel free to post below.